In this lesson, you will learn how to determine whether or not a word is functioning as a pronoun or as an adjective. Here is an image of the mind map that you should use to take notes during this lesson. Demonstrative words can function as both pronouns and adjectives. You really, for all of these, have to look at what comes after the word and how the word is functioning. As we know, pronouns replace, whereas adjectives modify. So if we come back to the pronouns for a moment, our examples of demonstrative pronouns, those were some delicious cookies. Those is a demonstrative pronoun. It's standing in for, or rather pointing out, the cookies. Imagine someone standing in front of you, pointing at them and saying, those were some delicious cookies. There's no noun after it for it to modify. On the adjective side, those cookies were delicious. Those is functioning as an adjective, telling us which cookies were delicious. In our second example, that is my phone. That, again, pointing out, standing in for phone, whereas that phone is mine because it precedes the noun. Again, it's modifying phone, telling us which phone. So you can see here the main difference, and this is going to be true for all of them, is whether or not the word precedes a noun. If it precedes a noun, chances are it's an adjective. If it precedes a verb or a preposition, as we're going to see in a few moments, then it's going to be a pronoun. Interrogative works in a very similar way. Interrogative pronoun, which to call and choose. We don't know what the which is right now, so it's standing in for the which. Same thing with whose is that jacket. Whose is standing in for it. We're not sure who's what, who's it's talking about. On the adjective side, we can see that in both cases, the adjectives precede nouns. Which college to call and choose, whose jacket is that? And of course, since they are the questions themselves, it tells us which college and whose jacket. Indefinites work again the same way. Some of the boys went skiing over vacation. Very often, students want to say that boys is the subject of the sentence, but we already know that it's not because we've learned to isolate prep phrases. Rather, I have some. Some here does not precede a noun, it precedes a preposition, which means I can get rid of this prep phrase and my sentence says, some went skiing over vacation. Therefore, some is standing in for the indefinite group of boys we're talking about. Since it's standing in, it's a pronoun. Same thing in this sentence. Most of the dessert. Isolate the prep phrase. Most is gone by now. Most what? Most is therefore standing in for all the dessert that we're talking about. On the adjective side, we'll see once again, when it's functioning as an adjective, it precedes a noun. Some people prefer tea over coffee. Some tells us which people. Most desserts are high in calories. Most tells us how many desserts. Again, preceding a noun, it's an adjective. And finally, possessives work in the exact same way. Mine is the purple suede jacket. Comes in front of a verb. Mine is standing in for the jacket. Mine is the subject of that sentence. I really want to try theirs. Theirs what? We don't know. It's standing in for something. On the adjective side, my jacket. My is modifying jacket. In fact, the main difference between possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns is that the words themselves will be different. When it comes in front of a noun and is functioning as an adjective, you'll have the word my. When it's a pronoun, you'll have the word mine. Same thing works with their recipe. When it precedes the noun, you use the word their. When it's functioning as a pronoun, it's theirs. So now you should pause the video and go through this practice. Above each of the italicized words, write P for pronoun and A for adjective. When you're finished, resume playing the video and I will go over the answers for you. Number 1, many is functioning as an adjective because it's describing the differences. These is also demonstrative adjective because it's describing the kinds. All is again adjective because it's just telling me how many ants. Each is a pronoun because it comes in front of a verb. There's no noun after it that it's modifying. Most, adjective, because it precedes a noun. Here we have most of the 20,000 known species. Since most precedes a prep phrase, most, then I have most are solitary, most is a pronoun. Of these, what is these preceding? Well, actually, it's its own introductory element because there's a comma there, so these has to be a pronoun. Many are hunting wasps. Many comes before a verb rather than a noun, so it has to be a pronoun. These wasps, these precedes a noun, so it's an adjective. Their nests, also adjective. Some nest in wood or mud. Somewhat. Here, nest is a verb. Some precedes it. It's standing in for the wasps, so it has to be a pronoun. Same thing in number 12, pronoun. Some preceding the verb behave. These wasps, adjective describing the wasps. Most wasps, adjective describing the wasps. Oh, sorry, some here should be italicized. Some pronoun of the best known social wasps. When it precedes a preposition, then it's also going to be a pronoun.